Dan RadioStyle. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. This is a fun show. This is going to be one that's going to talk about signs and kind of how they end up happening, at least to me, and how I kind of perceive and experience and learn from them. Also kind of gets into programming the subconscious mind and how that immediately has benefits and you start to see things happen in your world. And it's also an example of how when we get our energy out of whack, when we get our living within our means kinds of concepts a little out of balance, that we actually start to affect our abundance. We start to affect the flow of income and wealth to us. And I found this out through a wonderful little practice that I got to experience. So I thought I would share with everybody because I make lots of mistakes just like everybody else, but I learn from them. And having a YouTube channel to be able to talk about it, I've also found that walking through these processes that everybody else goes through as well helps me understand it better, helps me be able to talk about it, and then the analytical part of my brain can kind of try to pay attention to what I'm doing at least, and thinking and saying and feeling, and how that's playing out. So let me explain kind of how a lot of this has come to play. Now, what has happened is my desires and my actions were not in alignment. I've frequently talked about getting your conscious and your subconscious mind at work, right? You're the captain of your ship, and you're telling all your crew, hey, here's what I want to do. And so I've been telling all my crew, hey, I'm interested in getting a house. I've been seeing, YouTube, my numbers were growing. Everything was awesome. It was doing really, really, really good. And I was just in the flow and life was awesome. And I, again, make really good money on my other side and all this. Okay, so I said, all right, this is what I want to do. Well, my spending, consciously, I was spending money in places that didn't make sense. I was basically burning money in places that I didn't have to. Buying stupid things on Amazon and, spending time with this, maybe buying the fancier bottle of sake when I go out with my friends and kind of spending money on them and just doing stuff that didn't really necessarily take me towards my goal, which was getting a house, right? And a little bit of savings and all this and a long ways, right? So I started kind of feeling weird about things, and then I started looking at my numbers, and my numbers were starting to change on my YouTube channel. I was starting to look at my bank account, and every month I was spending through a majority of my money, so I didn't have much left over by the end of the month. I wasn't going in the negative, but I wasn't saving anything. So I was finding that I was heading in a bad direction, which then caused me to be a lot more conscious about money. I started to become more worried about, oh my God, can I afford this, right? You start to have all those types of thoughts that normally you might not have. And it was because I was living outside of my means. It was because I was spending money on things I didn't need to. Just wanted to. I was making so much that I was like, well, let's just spend it on stupid things. And I decided, whoa, let's get this under control. And so my conscious mind basically said, all right, captain of this ship, I'm going to stand up in front of my crew. I'm going to be like, all right, here's the deal. Yes, still interested in getting a house, but here's the plan, guys. The plan right now is we're going to save money, and we're not going to be spending money on stupid stuff right now. We're just going to, live and enjoy life. I mean, again, I still go out to eat and do all sorts of fun stuff, have wonderful meals at home with my girlfriend and everything else. Life's great. It's not like I'm not living well. I'm not giving up on things that I enjoy. I'm just not wasting money, basically. And so I'm telling my crew, look, this is the plan. This is what we're going to do. Great. So immediately I kind of start to feel better, and that's good. That's always a good sign, right? But then one thing that's kind of funny is really right within that period of time, I think I just did my taxes. So went ahead and did my taxes like 2 days after I made this decision. I'm like, I got to get them done anyway. So I did them myself. I do them online. But there was a nice return. And doing them online the way I do, generally I get that return pretty quickly. So, spoiler alert, about a week later, I ended up putting a bunch of money in savings because of my tax returns. So bam, instantly manifested a bunch of money that way. Got a note, a letter from the coffee shop I worked at 2 years ago I quit. And a letter from them saying that they had 3 paychecks of mine that I never got. I was like, huh? I thought I got everything ever from that place. No way. Okay, how cool is that? So I filled out the thing, sent the form, ended up getting 3 checks in the mail from the coffee shop. Bam, more money gets pushed off into my savings account. Another fun little thing happened is as this started to happen, not just one, I'm putting money in the bank, which is great, but knowing that I've got extra money in the bank and that feeling that comes with that. And the fact that I'm still not wasting money. It's this confidence that starts to get back up. And oddly, as this process was occurring, start looking back at my YouTube numbers, starting looking in the analytics, and I'm starting to notice that the boat is rounding back in the direction where it was heading. Interestingly enough, as you start to get your conscious and subconscious in alignment, you actually start to find that you start manifesting your dreams. You start seeing things come out of nowhere. In fact, this morning, the perfect timing, bumping in with a few great friends, but one of them's a very successful individual, and he was kind of sharing some of his situations and issues. Actually gave me another great idea about enhancing my wealth as well. And so, again, it was one more step. It was something to do with the Ruler of Babylon, something like that, a great book. It's a book I'm going to get. I haven't gotten it yet. Some of you may have read it already, I'm sure. But he was basically talking about the multiple bank accounts. And so I told him, I said, yeah, I think it was you I was having that conversation with. Yeah, I'd already got like 4 bank accounts right now going on. And he goes, no, you need the 5th one. And so we talked about this morning, which is an extra step of that abundance gathering, that increasing revenue towards me. That 5th account's going to be a big deal. It is a big deal. I haven't created it yet. Going to today. No big deal, right? So what I'm telling you is, as I got in line, my conscious and subconscious, as I started living within the means of my life, as I started making decisions that were appropriate towards what I'm trying to manifest, now all of a sudden, stuff's falling out of the blue. Getting all sorts of wonderful money is flowing from all sorts of different areas, not just the 2, but I mean, donations, coaching, all this stuff, just all money everywhere, just flowing in from all sorts of places. The second I got myself in line. Now, the other thing that's kind of funny, and it was the day of, and it was me deciding what's going on with this YouTube channel, and this is kind of where some of this revenue questions were coming from. Kind of wanted to see it grow faster than it was, like how many of us, we want things to happen quicker, right? But it's that realizing it's an unfolding process. It's that realizing that it's great where it's at. It's that realizing that sometimes you can't put all your eggs in a basket that aren't ready for your eggs. So I realized, no, you've got this covered. Let's just keep focusing on the channel, doing it, daily videos, doing it the way you should, and just get better and better and better. And I'm seeing the metrics that need to get better are improving. And so I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. But what was super awesome, like I said, is after I had this whole little conversation inside my head, we have these authentication things I have to do because I'm remote, partially, but 2, it's called Okta authentication. They end up sending you a message, and it's got a code in it, 6-digit code. And that 6-digit code, you type it in, and then you can connect to these systems remotely. So I've got this awesome second step of authentication, and I go through it with my normal day of work. I do it oftentimes twice a day. There's 2 different places it happens. And the number that came back was 999. It was 682-999. Now, for those of you that know me at all, 9s are a major number with me, just a super number. Love 9s, love everything about them, just love 9s. 999 is a major marker for me. 999 always has been, it always will be. It's a major marker. Now, a lot of people will be like, okay, Dan, you're manifesting the sign. And I'm like, no, I never once thought, never asked, hey, throw me a sign, universe, to tell me I'm doing everything right. Never, ever asked that. All I did was I had a conversation within myself about what I wanted to do with my YouTube channel, with the way I'm doing money, the way I'm saving. Part of that ties together because the house I want to get, there's going to be a room that's going to be an actual studio rather than this tiny room that I'm using, which is my second bedroom. And I want to do a green screen. I want to do the whole thing. I've got all these sorts of plans. And so my house is a big key to that. So it ties into the channel in a very, very major way. So getting everything in alignment, I got this number, and it had 999 in it. 999 is a marker to me. I didn't necessarily go, oh, it's a sign. Everything's awesome. Great. No. What I did see, though, was the 682. And I've told a lot of you guys, and there's a link below for the numerology site I use, and it's just a great angel numbers site I've been going to for like 10 years. I don't know. I love it. I love this site, and the numbers work really well. So again, I saw 682-999. So what I instantly said is, all right, let's look up 682. Just curious, because that's a weird number. It doesn't really have any significance to me, but it was attached to my marker, which is interesting. So, angel number 682 is a message to continuing having faith and trust in your intuition and the guidance from the angels, as this will assist you in manifesting abundance and prosperity into your life. Let go of any fears or concerns of lack or loss or anything negative to do with the material aspects of your life. Trust that your prayers are being answered and the universal energies are catering to your material and financial wants and needs. Give the opportunity to focus upon your true goals and desires and your personal family love life. Have faith and trust that your needs are being met and you and your loved ones will have ample supply to cover all that you require. Your angels ask that you remain centered in your faith and trust and believe that positive abundance is on its way into your life. You are reaping rewards for work well done in the past, and your angels encourage you and accept your blessings with grace and gratitude. Give yourself permission to prosper and know that you will find success in all that you put your mind and efforts towards. Angel number 682 may also indicate that it is your time for you to consider beginning a spiritually based profession, practice, and or career, or a venture that aids and assists others. Use your strengths and talents to uplift and enlighten others through serving humanity in compassionate and loving ways. Your soul mission is a sacred labor that you undertake for the betterment of yourself and others. For anybody that knows me at all, that is why I'm in the YouTube game. That is why I do the videos I do. I'm not necessarily trying to be the biggest YouTuber. I'd like to be huge. I'd love to have lots and millions of subscribers. But I'm not trying to just tell people what they want to hear. I'm actually trying to help people come to understandings about these deeper things in the universe. And there's a big difference. I make plenty of money in my regular job. I'm not trying to make a living off YouTube. It's fun making extra money, and by no means am I going to say I don't enjoy that, because I love it. And I also plan on doing this full time. But it's a larger thing sometimes. So I think for a lot of us that are trying to, one, increase our money, income, revenue, make sure we're living within our means. There is this kind of adage that goes along with people that are trying to manifest abundance, and they're like, well, I don't want to say I can't afford it. I don't want to say things like that. And that's true. You don't want to say I can't afford it. That's bad abundance. But that doesn't mean you buy things outside of your means just because you want it. If you are not ready to buy it yet, you can always say, I'll buy it. I will buy it. It's going to be mine. I will buy it. It's an acceptance of that. My friend asked me today if I've gotten my Rolex yet. And it's like, no, but I've got enough money in the bank to buy it right now. And he goes, now it's an issue of choice. And he's right. And that's true. And I don't want to buy it right now. I'd rather save up money and get a house than buy my Rolex. The Rolex will come when it comes, and maybe I'll get it another way. And that's awesome. But again, it's part of that game we play. And this is my very dear friend. He's actually probably been quite a mentor to me. Again, he's just making a ton of money. And his son's actually an enormously famous YouTuber. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that comes around all of that. Granted, he's a gamer YouTuber, so I don't see that helping me any. But that being said, living within our means, trying to get yourself to expand your consciousness, to stop placing limitations on ourselves that we don't realize we're doing, by understanding that our conscious and subconscious minds need to be in alignment. And for me, I found it because I was bummed. I was bumming on money. I was not in a happy state in my mind regarding my finances. And so it was like, why? And I'm like, well, you're spending money in stupid places. And maybe if you stop doing that, you might feel a little different. And as soon as I decided, it was an instant weight lifted off me. I immediately knew I was doing the right thing because of how it felt. It's not limiting to say I'm not going to waste money. It's responsible. And you don't get rich just giving away money. Ask any successful person out there. You don't get rich giving away your money. There is a flow. There's a consciousness about it. But again, there's still a great deal. I mean, in fact, the fifth account that my friend was telling me about, donating. That was the big piece I was missing. And I have donated, and I do donate. But it's not something I do regularly. And it was like the tithing account. Got to have that fifth tithing account. So again, it's keeping our whole flow in the circle. And when we can do that, when we can look at what we're doing in our own lives to hurt and help ourselves, and you can, again, tell by how you feel about things, how you're feeling about the choices you're making, how you're feeling about life in general. If you're not feeling good about life in general, there's something that's out of alignment. Your desires and your actions are not in alignment. I don't know what your particular situation is, but look inward. Look at what you're doing. If you say you want a relationship with someone, are you grumpy with them? Are you frustrated with them? Those actions are not in alignment with a relationship. You can say, yes, well, they've been mean, they've been this and that. Sure, I get you. But if you want to be with someone and you're being a grumpy Gus, those don't go together. And so you are going to feel bad because you're not in alignment with your desires. Same's true of trying to find a job, trying to increase my income, and I'm not necessarily doing anything. So I feel bummed, I'm frustrated, I'm grumpy, I'll blame my boss, I'll blame this, because we'll blame everything outside of ourselves. We don't ever want to look inward. So we'll blame everything outside of ourselves rather than looking at the one place that can actually change. And when we do, when we look at the fact that, well, I'm not really posting for other jobs, I haven't checked my resume in God knows how long. How many things I'm currently fighting with my boss every day, giving him dirty looks because I'm mad at him that he won't promote me? Again, these thought transmissions that we send to people, if they're not in love and light, you are not helping yourself in a lot of cases. And how do we know that? You'll feel bummed. You'll feel bad. Something won't feel right. If you're doing everything right, if you're in alignment, if your desires and actions are in alignment, you will walk around feeling like you're stepping on clouds. You'll feel like you're doing everything perfectly. You are always in the right place at the right time because you are and you will be. But when you're not in alignment, that's not the experience. Pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what you're doing. Pay attention to the mistakes you're making and be willing to face them and go, yes, I can do better than this. No matter how awesome you are, you can do better. All of us can. And when we can look at ourselves objectively, when we can look in the mirror and realize that's the person that's holding you back, not anyone else, that guy or gal, depends. I always refer to myself as a guy. It's more fun. But keep yourself in alignment and you will go far. Instantly things change. I literally shifted everything in one internal dialogue within my head. And it wasn't just saying positive things. I am great. I am wonderful. No, it wasn't anything like that. It was literally me standing up and talking to my crew and saying, this is what we're doing now. I made a decision. And my decision was different from what my actions had been. So now my crew understood full well what the plan was. And they're like, cool, we got this. And instantly, revenue starts flowing back in. Instantly, analytics start changing. Instantly, decisions I start making about the channel and different things I can try. Instantly, I'm getting these different creative ideas. Once you get your conscious and subconscious in alignment, everything just starts to happen. It is inspired action. It's inspired thoughts. It's just ideas that pop into your head that you can do. But again, Goddard talks about holding the image of what you want and then see where your mind goes to. See the path that your mind follows. And if success of the YouTube channel is the thought you might be having, then what are some of the things that your mind wanders to? And for me, it's different show topics, different ideas, different things that I could try to talk about and still put it my little radio style spin on it. It's the way that your mind starts to work towards what your goals are. It's not just the stepping stones that create there, but it's what those stepping stones are that matters, what they represent, the experience that each stepping stone is as we move towards our goals. Getting your conscious and subconscious aligned is possibly the single most beneficial thing that you can do to immediately change how your manifestation's going. If you're trying to get love, trying to get income, trying to get wealth, trying to buy something, this is how you go about it. Get your things in alignment, and the doors just start to open before you. Enjoy the success, enjoy the ride, enjoy the fun, and above all, just enjoy life and enjoy each other. It's Dan Radio Style.